There's no crying in baseball!
Viva Cuba Libre. Welcome into episode number 57 of the Picked Off Podcast, the hardest hitting 30 minutes of baseball coverage you will get all week. I'm your host, Bitter Mike Babo. With me as usual is my compadre, mi amigo, my ride or die, Mr. Aric Schuler. Aric, how are you?
What is going on, everybody? We are excited heading into. We're getting a lot of rain here, Mike.
Yeah,
it's kind of.
I like it. The golf courses like it.
I love the rain. It's just I'm getting old where I like the rain, but I also have a problem where it's like ruining what I want to do on the weekends. So
yeah.
Why
can't it rain Monday through Friday?
Yeah, exactly.
Or at night,
and then be beautiful during the day. So, but yes, very
if you
excited.
want to do that, Aric, you just got to go to California, but then you got to deal with all the other crap.
Yeah, that's right. I'd much rather stay here. Very excited about this episode. Got a lot of stuff on your chest we're going to talk about today.
Okay, I'm going to warn our listeners right now. You might want to turn the volume down because I am going to be peeling the paint off the walls.
Yeah, Mike's a little bit hot right now. A little bit hot. He is repping his team today.
I'm a race car in the red.
He is running at high RPMs here.
Yeah, well, that's a Pulp Fiction reset. And anybody seen Pulp Fiction, there was a scene where Jules was saying he was a race car in the red, and his partner was saying, yeah? Well, I'm a mushroom clown burning mofo.
Yeah.
And I think I'm there. I mean, anyway, let's lay out this show for everyone. We're just going to look at the latest news and notes from around Major League Baseball. We'll take a quick peek of the division standings, find out who's wearing us out. I bet you can guess who's wearing me out. And then take a look at some key matchups this weekend. Let's get right into it, Aric. I mean, it has been an absolute whirlwind in the manager's office. I mean, a red wedding. Really. I mean, on Saturday afternoon, I got a text from my boy. Shout out to Fred Davis from the Fan After Dark.
Freddie D.
Yep, from WFAN. They are the flagship station of the Texas Rangers. And he said, whoa, Alex Cora fired. Alex Cora of the Boston Red Sox was shown the door Saturday afternoon. That was the 25th of April. He, along with 5 of his assistant coaches, were let go by the chief baseball operator. Let me try that again. Chief baseball operations manager Craig Breslow. He made the move Saturday morning. He was backed by the president and CEO Sam Kennedy and their principal owner John Henry, who's owned the team for pretty close to 20 years now. Cora was the manager of the Red Sox since 2018. He was brought in by their former GM, Dave Dombrowski. They won the World Series in his first year. They've had 3 playoff appearances since. Interestingly enough, Cora was signed to a 3-year, $21.75 million extension before the 2025 season. So the Red Sox are on the hook for the next 2 years for $14.5 million. A lot of things went wrong here, Aric. First of all, the team performance on the field, the team makeup in terms of roster construction, and the chemistry. And I'm talking about leadership and how the guys get along, et cetera, et cetera. As far as their performance on the field, they were bottom offensively, bottom third of every category. Pitching, they've given up the 3rd most home runs in the major leagues. The right fielder and first baseman positions were the only positions above average WAR, and their trade acquisition of Caleb Durbin so far has been an absolute disaster. They went from trying to replace Rafi Devers with Alec Bregman, and he opted out after the first year. He left for greener pastures in L.A. after the 2025 season, and now they're with a guy who's simply, too young and to shoulder that burden. And now they've lost their starting pitcher and their ace, Garrett Crochet. He went on the IL this week with shoulder inflammation, and they haven't been able to really construct their roster. They had way too many outfielders. They had way too few power hitters or average hitters. And, and the chemistry between Breslow and manager Cora was not right from the get-go. Cora is not a Breslow guy. He inherited him. And Breslow has only been in the position for, I think, since the 2024 season. And nearly all of the assistants that were let go this week were all Cora people. Not one person from the pitching side was let go, including Andrew Bailey, who is a Craig Breslow guy. The players are not happy with the decision. They were brought into a meeting by Breslow and Kennedy with John Henry standing in the background, not saying a word, mind you. And apparently, if you asked a few of the players, they were asked, and Trevor Story, the shortstop, being the most notable and the most outspoken, said that the explanations were unsatisfactory, and he had to, quote, talk with Craig today, which he did, apparently. But I'm sorry. I mean, Trevor, if you had anything to do with this, maybe your sub-200 average might have something to do with it. So,
yeah,
Aric, give me your thoughts on this, because this is a mess.
So this is my opinion, and look, I'm really, really stoked it's happening to the Red Sox. I'm just glad we have a team in that division. There's a couple teams in that division that are really struggling right now. The Red Sox happen to be one of them, and I will tell you, I think this is premature. I like Alex Cora a lot. I think there are things going on behind the scenes that are manifesting, that are also being added to the issues they're having on the field that caused his departure. I think the issues on the field, I think it's early. I think it's early to get rid of a manager as good as Cora. I think what's happening is there are other factors. There are factors we're not seeing as the general public. I mean, you mentioned some of those in your entry on
monologue here.
Yeah, your monologue on this subject. And so I really think that's a major factor here. And I'm going to quote. I don't know if it was Rex Ryan or Rob Ryan, but this guy's going to have a job in 15 minutes here.
Yeah, I mean, no question. As a matter of fact, he actually was offered a job by Dave Dombrowski, who was a PBO of the Philadelphia Phillies. Cora called him up Saturday evening. They had several conversations over that day, and apparently between Saturday and Monday, he was offered the job to take over for Rob Thompson of the Phillies. He turned it down because Cora is getting remarried in November, and he's got two young kids he's going to be inheriting two young kids. He also has an older child from his previous marriage that is a college student at the University of Miami, I believe. And so he just wanted to spend some time with his family and just kind of chill out for a while. But it is interesting. I mean, I think that he will get multiple offers in this offseason. But I think you're right. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. Look, Craig Breslow wants his own guy, and I guess Chad Tracy, the interim manager, is his guy, and so he chose him. He was the manager of the Worcester Sox, and so he's been brought in. But now they've actually...
I don't understand the move, Mike. I don't
think anyone does.
Like all I'm saying is I understand the team struggling. I get it, right? But this is what gets GMs in trouble. This is the sort of thing that gets GMs in trouble. GMs have a really unique job.
Yeah.
They have a hard job. They got to walk the tightrope. And I'm going to tell you, you see some of the best GMs in baseball, they can get past their personal afflictions.
Yeah.
The best ones do. The best ones.
They don't have an ego.
That's right. They get past the fact that, oh, this is my guy or this is his guy, right? Those GMs are paid to do one thing and one thing only, and that's to win baseball games. In Boston, especially. Right. In New York, especially. Those guys are paid to win baseball games. They can't get caught up in this egotistical environment, because the second that they do, right, it turns into, in my opinion, what's going to be a dumpster fire in Boston right now.
I mean, Craig Breslow has to share some blame for this, because he had an overabundance of outfielders that he could have traded away for some position
This is his roster,
players.
Mike.
Yeah.
It's his roster.
Right. And here's the other thing, too. He's got to be staring this into the abyss, because if you look back at John Henry's history of his PBOs, they've only lasted about 3 or 4 years. Ben Sherrington, only 3 years, 2012 through 2014. Dave Dombrowski lasted 5 years. Chaim Bloom, only 3 years.
Yeah, I think,
and this is Breslow's third year. So
I'm going to tell you, if this doesn't work, Breslow's gone.
Yeah, no question about it.
If somehow they don't and I don't see him competing for this division at this point.
They got nothing for Devers aside from the fact that they got a salary dump.
100%.
Because all the guys that they've had that they received, they're either released or on other teams.
But I support what they did with Devers. The only interesting part is I think that could have been a factor on why Cora's gone.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Devers goes over to San Francisco. They have they sit down, have a nice chat, and they get him to do things he was unwilling to do in Boston.
Right. And so could that fall also on the manager though?
Yeah. Well, that falls on Cora. Right, so I think that's a major factor in why he gets let go is they got nothing for that guy, right? They ended up having to ship him off in a panic move, and then he goes over to San Francisco and is willing to kind of play by the rules.
Yeah, but you know what? In hindsight, 2020, I mean, his career average is 274. You know what he's hitting for the Giants right now?
Talk to me.
207.
Yeah, well, he's struggling, but
Struggling.
But Cora,
That's being charitable.
yeah, but Cora's an old school guy, right? And I'm just saying,
Well, the players love him. Right? He was a player.
Correct.
And he understands and he recognizes what leadership, how important leadership is. And Alec Bregman brought that leadership, especially to those younger players. And now you're asking for leadership from Jaron Duran, who's got like 2 years in the league.
But Mike, riddle me this. You just have a guy that's just got canned in Boston. I like a lot.
Yeah.
Right? I like Cora a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And I also like Aaron Boone a lot. Right. But I'm going to tell you, if the Yankees don't make a run in the playoffs, somebody's going to take the fall for that.
Well, it's going to be Boone.
Right. And I'm going to tell you, does that mean Alex Cora ends up in New York?
No, I think he's going to Philly.
You think for sure?
I mean, look, let's
get it done.
He considers Dave Dombrowski one of his mentors.
Get the Phillies back on track, Cora.
The dude called him. The dude called him with a manager already in the fold. Right? Speaking of which,
yeah.
He didn't get his guy, he didn't get Alex Cora, but he did bring in 3 people from the player development staff over to Atlanta while the Phillies were in Atlanta for a road trip, which they absolutely stunk on. And by Monday evening, he had already made his decision to let go of Rob Thompson, who had been the manager a manager since 2022, right? When they brought him on an interim basis. When he fired Joe Girardi,
yeah.
Right? Okay, and so I mean, this guy took over a team and went to the World Series. He was the winningest manager in Philadelphia history, percentage-wise, and now he's out of a job. He made the postseason each year, but each year they regressed in the postseason. They went from the World Series to losing the NL pennant to losing the division series, and I guess they weren't going anywhere. But again, another team that has roster flaws. They were running it back for the second year in a row.
I agree they were running it back, but they're better than this, Mike.
They're better than this. They're one of the worst teams in the major leagues. The only reason why no one was talking about it because the Mets were just going through their own 12-game losing streak. But apparently, Rob Thompson had some issues with communication, right? Nick Castellanos and him did not see eye to eye. And Nick Castellanos is doing okay, pretty well. He's probably smiling about all this in San Diego now. They're older. They're some of their big players are struggling. Bryson Stott, their second baseman, is having another terrible first half of the year. Alec Boehm was hitting like under $190.
I mean, I agree with all that. I agree. We can lament all day about the Phillies. The problem is they are better than 12-19. They're better than 4th place in this division.
Sure.
The fact of the matter is Atlanta's the only team that should be ahead of you in this division. You should not be worse than Miami. The fact that Washington's in 3rd place just blows my mind. You got Philly and the Mets bringing up the rear. It's just an unacceptable situation in Philly. I don't blame them for firing Thompson. I think the team is better than he had him performing.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think the same thing about Cora.
Yeah.
Right. I think Cora was I thought the roster in Boston was young and more flawed than the roster in Philly. And so my opinion is, hey, Cora gets canned. I understand. Well, I like Cora as a manager. I'm surprised by that. Rob Thompson getting fired doesn't surprise me. The Phillies are underachieving royally. Well,
they do have some problems too. Look, they lost Ranger Suarez as free agency. He went to Boston.
But their pitching staff is looking awful.
Absolutely terrible, right? Zach Wheeler finally back. All right, he pitched Saturday. He made his season debut, but Aaron Nola has not been the same. He's been struggling. Joan Duran is on the IL, their closer that they paid so much in a trade deadline last year to get him, and they're doing a closer by committee, which we know does not work. But their roster continues to get older and older. And look, Justin Crawford has been a nice surprise for them in center fielder. He can certainly fly, and that helps. But if you continue to rely on older guys, especially like Kyle Schwarber, who's going to hit only 200, give you 40 bombs, but he's also going to strike out a ton. That's something that you have to live with.
Mike, he's on pace to strike out 250 times this year. I mean, so we're going to get to what's wearing me out here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this.
Okay, can I get to what's wearing me out? But go ahead.
Yeah. But I mean, we're going to get to that. But I'm just saying, these MVP caliber players, they strike out too much. I'm sorry. right? Even Judge.
It's the nature of the
We
game.
can talk about Judge. Cal Raleigh, super high strikeout guy. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Like I'm frustrated by
Chicks
it.
dig the long ball. They don't care about it anymore.
Yeah.
They just don't care.
Well, I'm going to tell you, fans that care about winning don't dig the long ball.
No, I know.
And so I'm frustrated by it.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for the Phillies, they played the San Francisco Giants, the worst brain-dead collection of hitters I have ever seen in Major League Baseball. And the Phillies just suffered through a 10-game losing streak. They fired their popular manager. They brought in a manager in Don Mattingly, who's 65 years old, and has no desire to manage. The only reason why he's managing this team is because Dombrowski asked him. That's what he said in his post-game presser. And his GM, and he didn't want to manage anyway because his son is the GM, Preston.
Right.
And so he didn't want any type of, power struggle going on or whatever. He just wanted to be a bench coach. He wanted to be with his son or whatever, but he just had too much going on. Well, now he's thrust into this position. Enter the San Francisco Giants, who are just coming off a 4-2 road trip. And what did they do? They got swept. They absolutely got swept. Kyle Schwarber, his average was raised by 30 points after the 3-game series.
Yeah.
All right? He went 8 for 9 in the doubleheader yesterday. This guy, with an on-base percentage of .300, gets on base 8 out of 9 times. Alec Boehm, struggling like hell. He delivers the game-winning sacrifice fly in the nightcap.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Bryson Stott, who had been hitting like I said, $190. What does he do? He hits a game-tying stand-up triple in the bottom of the 9th in Game 1 of the series. The Giants snatched defeat from the jaws of victory twice in the doubleheader. All right,
and I know
this team whose rankings in Major League Baseball are dead flippin' last in runs per game, total runs, home runs, RBIs. They're in the bottom third in strikeouts. Their team batting average is .247, which is actually above average. I don't know how that's happening. Probably because of Luis Ariz. But in on-base percentage, OPS plus, grounding into double plays, they're at the bottom 5th. They're either 27th or 29th. Aside from Luis Ariz, this is the most ugliest collection of brain-dead, moronic hitters I have seen in my 50 years of watching this game. They've got one thing and one thing on their mind only, and that is, I want to hit this ball 9 miles. I'm going to swing as hard as I flipping can and hit it as far as I can. Doesn't matter what the situation is.
But the average being above average tells you that may not be the case.
But their average with runners in scoring position is putrid.
100%.
Their runs total is putrid. So they're getting on base.
And
fine.
Look,
they're getting on base with singles.
I am not going to bat for your Giants. Okay, I'm not. I'm disappointed in them too. I had high hopes for them. The question that I have for you is, what is the fix? Right? What is the fix right now? This team looks broken. Right?
There's nothing to fix because these guys are on long-term contracts.
Right, but
Matt Chapman is signed for another 6 years.
But
Luis Ariz,
Julio
Adames is signed for another 7 years.
You can't just wash your hands of it, right? You got to manage your way out of the situation, right? I mean, there's a lot of teams in the league that have like we can't be doomsday here. The question is, there's got to be some changes made. There's got to be some changes made that reinvigorate the team. They're only 7 games out of first place in one of the best divisions.
I don't care how many games they're out of the first place. They're in the bottom of the National League West.
They are, but I'm just
saying.
They're
worse than the Rockies by a half game right now.
I'm just saying they're 7 games out. They're in last place, and they just lost 3 in a row. Right? Think about how you would be if you're the Phillies. The Phillies just swept your Giants. They're damn near in last place, and they just had 3 games in a row that they won. And so I think I'm just saying, from a devil's advocate standpoint, things are not going well in San Francisco, but it could be a lot worse. They could be double-digit games out of first place. They still have to climb over 3 teams in order to compete for the division. So and look, we know they're not going to compete.
They're not going to compete for the division.
They're not going to compete with the Dodgers in San Diego.
They're just not playing smart baseball. I saw I saw Casey Schmidt overrun second base twice in 2 games. All right, on last Friday night and Saturday night. He hit the bag at second, overran it, slipped, and then got thrown out with the throw going behind him twice in a row. You think he'd learn from the first time?
What do you do? What's the solution?
What's Keaton Wynn doing, throwing 9 two-seam fastballs to Bryson Stott in a row in the bottom of the 9th inning? Why is Keaton Wynn pitching to Kyle Schwarber, a righty versus lefty, when he's got Matt Cage warming up in the bullpen?
Sounds like a staff problem.
This is a problem from top to bottom.
Okay.
Why is the third base coach Borg holding up Brad Gilbert on a ground ball single through the infield that could have scored the game-winning run?
A lot of mistakes being made here. made.
And why are they saying, well, you know what? I think it was a good decision. Are you kidding me?
I would just ask this. This is where I come to the table. I want to know how you would fix it. That's what I want to know. There's a fix. You got to teach these guys. Okay, you guys have to have an approach at the plate. Okay, you have to see what the situation is. All right, if you got first and third, and nobody out like they had in the top of the 10th. Is Vitello feeling pressure?
No, not right now, because he's a first-year manager. And the other thing, too, is that they have $10.5 million. Hang on. They have $10.5 million committed to the manager position.
The front office better be putting pressure on him, Mike, to shit-can coaches.
Okay, fine. Wow, our first R-rated word. Okay, cool. Yeah. But, right. Borg should be left in the tarmac. Okay, he should walk home from Philadelphia
That's what has to start happening, Mike.
I understand that, but they also have to have they have to drill it in these guys. Listen, stop swinging for the fences every time. When you're first and third and nobody out, Matt Chapman, I'm not looking for you to hit the ball 900 miles. I'm looking for you to even put the ball in play, for crying out loud. But what does he do? He strikes out. The only guy who has any idea of what the situation is Luis Ariz. And the ironic thing is that people were questioning his sighting. It's like, well, he's a below average defender. No, he's not. They put him at second base because they needed a second baseman. The Marlins didn't put him at second base because they needed a first baseman. They didn't need him at second base. So all of a sudden he gets this bad reputation and he's a bad defender. You know who's a bad defender? I mean, Willie Adames. But do you know he's even a worse hitter? Willie Adames, Matt Chapman, Rafi Devers. Rafi Devers, like I said, he's hitting 207. He's got no concept of the strike zone.
They're playing really bad baseball right now. I agree with that.
Okay, we need to get off of this. Sorry,
but no, that's fine. Like I appreciate it, right? I love the fact that you're getting fired up about it.
I'm pissed. I've been texting everybody. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done watching this boring-ass baseball team do the same crap over and over again for the last 4 years.
Hey,
we've had one winning season since 2016 because they play a boring brand of baseball. They play stupid, brain-dead, low IQ baseball. Top to bottom, pitching, defense, hitting.
My opinion is, so I think you have to start. I think you have a good enough pitching staff. I think you have to start at the plate. Right, I think you got to go in, and I would clean house on my whole entire hitting staff. Mincy be gone, Oscar Bernard gone. Right, those guys. I'm canning them all.
I think they did that. I think these are first year guys. I don't know. They might be first year guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
know who these people are. But it's just it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just a revolving door, and it's the same brain dead crap that I've been seeing for the last, like I said, 4 or 5 seasons.
Well, I'm going to be the optimistic one here. I know that it's your team, so I don't expect you to be optimistic, but I'm going to tell you, in Buster Posey, we trust.
Yeah, I know. I've said over and over again, I'm giving him just as much time as I gave Farhan Zahidi to screw this thing up.
But I'm going to tell you, Posey's going to have to get involved with his head coach or his manager. He's going to have to get involved with his manager, and he's going to have to teach him how to manage. He's going to have to do that because Vitello has never managed at this level. And I'm going to tell you, he needs to understand there are strings that you have to pull. And right now, the rah guy, that is not a recipe to be successful.
He's got 2 Hall of Fame managers that are supposed to be doing that job. That's Dusty Baker and Bruce Bochy. They were hired as special assistants in this offseason to do exactly that. He's got Ron Washington as his bench coach and as an infield coach, who's also managed in the World Series, who's also very well respected. So he's got 3 guys to lean on. Okay, Buster Posey shouldn't be there. All right, that's what he hired those guys to do.
Right, but I'm just saying the accountability goes all the way through the organization.
I get it. But I mean, this is just ugly to the core.
Like when you have this, like I think he's making a lot of managerial mistakes, right?
Yeah, no question about it.
And so my point there is like, where are these 3 guys you just mentioned? Where's Washington? Where's Dusty Baker?
Maybe they are working behind us.
Not a fan, but I'm just saying, where are they at? Moving on.
Carlos Mendoza, New York Mets. They're still bad. They're just historically bad. They just lost a series to the Miami Marlins at home. Is he next to go? Will it happen soon? I mean, there's a lot of talk about within and without the clubhouse, outside and inside the clubhouse, I should say, that, look, this is not Carlos Mendoza's fault. I mean,
I don't think he's going to go, and here's why. I think this was, we talked
he's on the last year of his contract.
Yeah. So I think we talked about it before the season started. I think this deal in New York, on the other side of the city, is a experiment. I thought it was going to go better than this, right? They have a lot of guys playing out of position.
We said it was going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch. But what I'm going to say is I don't think he gets the boot here. I think this is just an experiment that's not going very well, actually going awful at this point in time. This is the kind of for me, this looks like where do we see this, Mike? Where do we see maybe in the NBA where they draft an athlete? Or, they draft and for a while the Montreal Expos were doing that, right? They were drafting the best athlete in the draft.
Yeah.
And all this stuff.
Well, in football they do that too.
Yeah. And so my opinion is this little experiment's not working, right? And I think
this experiment is costing Steve Cohen $508 million when you count the luxury tax bill.
But I will say he's got more money than he knows what to do.
He's worth $22 billion, so and he's a fan, so he doesn't mind.
And so all I'm saying is this experiment's not going very well. I don't think that's on the manager. I think it has to do with the way they constructed this roster. Just looks very flawed at this point in time. The experiment is not working. Got guys playing out of position. Mm-hmm. I think you don't have. I'll tell you who you're really missing here, Mike. I think you're missing Pete Alonso big time. You're missing some leadership. Juan Soto's not filling that void. You don't. No. You have a band. A void of leadership, in my opinion, with this Mets team.
With Lindor on the IL too, right?
But you got good enough players to compete. The issue here is you got something else going on. You got guys playing out of position. I've said that 2 or 3 times, right? You got guys playing out of position, and I just think that's a major factor here. And nobody's stepping up and saying, "Hey, we need to get better."
Well, I would take issue with one thing that you said. I think their pitching staff is really a problem.
Okay. Yeah, I can
David Peterson and Kodai Senga are really, really struggling. As a matter of fact, I don't know why they don't DFA Peterson. I don't know why they don't DFA Shamanaya. He's been absolute trash ever since. I mean, they really do miss the leadership and the performance of a Jacob deGrom or a Matt Scherzer or even a Justin Verlander. They only gave Justin Verlander half a season before they dumped him and they traded him back.
I'm just saying, going back to Juan Soto's comments, I didn't speak to any of my teammates during the 12-game losing streak.
Well, we've addressed that. I mean, guys don't normally.
I don't care if you don't travel with the team. Do you care that your team lost 12 games in a row?
I know.
So the fact of the matter is they're void of leadership, man. They don't have any leadership.
No, they don't. I know. Yeah, but maybe they'll get right. They travel to L.A. to face
and they finally win and they lose Lindor. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
They have a 9-game road trip. They travel to Los Angeles to face the Angels, who've been struggling as well, and then the Colorado Rockies, who are actually playing some pretty decent ball, and then the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are somewhere around, I think they're in 3rd place in the division.
Tell me this, Mike, San Francisco Giants fan, sitting across from me, big one. Would you rather be a Giants fan or a Mets fan?
Oh, I'd rather be a Giants fan.
Okay, so...
I mean,
we found silver lining.
The Mets are a mess.
There you go.
I mean, they are a dysfunctional mess.
I just wanted to get you jazzed up before the end of the show.
I'm not.
Because he is over there.
I'm still.
I'm worried about him, folks.
No, I'll be fine. Just do a welfare check every couple of hours. Looking at the divisions, man. I really love what your Yankees are doing, man. They're riding that top-ranked pitching staff. They had a nice Texas swing, 4-2. I mean, really, they took the first 2 games of each series.
Yeah, disappointed. I'm disappointed. I know you wanted how they looked in the 3rd games of both those series.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Just
kind of slept.
You looked real good against the Rangers, and then you go into Game 3, get shut out 3-0.
Yeah, against Nate Eovaldi, who has not been pitching
he hasn't been great. He hasn't been great, but I mean, he shows signs. Right. He's a good pitcher. So I am happy about it, but I want to be clear. The Yankees are playing really good baseball, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they are a game and a half in first place.
Yep.
So the deal is this division's not going away.
No. And Tampa Bay is right on their heels. They've won 6 in a row. They're writing a very good pitching staff, and
do you think Toronto can pull it out? I mean, do you think they can? I mean, right now I don't like where they're at.
So they got Trey Savage back, and he shut out the Red Sox, I believe, recently. So they're going to get some guys back, and I think they still got the most complete roster in the American League outside of New York. They've got guys who put the bat on the ball. They got guys who do situational hitting. They've got guys who can run. And Vlad Guerrero is quietly having a phenomenal season right now.
Yeah,
they've got all the pieces in place. They just need to get that pitching staff. And the one problem also is that they have now a closer by committee. They took Jeff Hoffman out of the role.
Yeah, which I don't like.
I don't either, but I mean he's been struggling.
Right, but I do not like the closer by committee thing.
No one does.
I don't like that. Right. But I will say that that closer by committee situation is fifth in their long line of problems.
Yeah. Right.
So we'll get these other four things on track, and then maybe we'll address the closer situation.
Yeah. So it's been fun to watch the AL East turn into the juggernaut that we've liked. We talked about the Atlanta Braves. They're running and hiding. No other team is above 500, even at 500 right now, except for the Braves, and they are just absolutely mashing. Their OPS figures. Look at these OPS figures for some of the Braves. Drake Baldwin, 881. Matt Olson, 993. Ozzie Albies, their second baseman, 872. Michael Harris, over 900, 902. Dom Smith, their DH, is 930. All their starting pitchers have an ERA below 3.75. They are just absolutely dealing. And Aric, they're going to get Spencer Strider back, I think, next week.
Yeah, so another shot in the arm. Right. I'm going to tell you right now, they have a 66 run differential, plus 66.
That bodes very, very well. Right?
That bodes very well. Tied right there with the Dodgers. Dodgers also have a 66 plus run differential. And what I'm going to tell you is the Dodgers are a half a game up. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so the Padres are playing good baseball too.
Yep.
But I like to look at that run differential because I think it matters. You can see when teams are kind of winning games, a lot of close ones, right? The Yankees I think the Yankees run differential is plus 47, so they're winning a lot of games, and that helps when you're not putting a ton of pressure on your pitching staff.
Right.
They're going out there with an 8-run lead, and you kind of mowing guys down. But I really think early on in the season, if you can stretch out those run differentials, I think it will help that you're taking that pressure off of your pitching staff early in the season.
Right. It's great when you're scoring runs early.
Yeah, for sure. And they can go out there, and relaxed and focus on throwing the ball over the plate, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get to what's wearing me out right now.
Okay, go.
Okay. You've heard me talk about this. I'm going to talk about it again. The number of strikeouts that are happening right now is off to the races.
Dude, you don't need to tell me.
Right? I've
been watching it.
I think we have 10 players in this league that are on pace to strike out 250 times.
Good God.
I mean, that is insane to me. Right? I mean,
James Woods up there. Got to be right.
James Woods, number one.
Kyle Schwarber's up there.
He struck out 50 times. Kyle Schwarber's up there. I mean,
he's got 40-something.
Kyle Schwarber has struck out 40 times. 40 times.
Okay.
And so I'm just saying, those guys, Cal Raleigh's up there. I mean, 41
I'm sure
times.
Devers is up there.
And so, I mean, how about Ellie De La Cruz striking out a ton?
That's surprising.
Right? I mean, he's got over 40 strikeouts. And so my thing is this. These guys have got to be more productive at the plate. Right? It is becoming a problem. It's unwatchable at times. It's unwatchable for me.
But we're shouting into the wind, you and I are.
Understood.
Because the PBOs are looking at this and they're saying, yeah, but what's their OPS numbers?
I understand, but I'm going to keep going here.
I get it.
This goes in line with what I've been talking about. This is a fundamental problem in baseball. Mm-hmm. Fundamentals are a problem. Right? You see it in pitchers. The deal is, I haven't seen this much chaos in the back end of bullpens in my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Right? I love suspense in games. Right? I love to see games that are tight.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't like to see chaos. You got relievers coming into the game, can't throw strikes. That's stuff you see in college, man. That's 18, 19-year-old kid type stuff.
Yeah.
This deal where relievers are coming in struggling to control, that's a fundamental problem. Like, the fundamentals in this league are really disappointing me because as a fan, as somebody who played baseball, right? I've said this before. You go to a major league game and you see a third baseman make a diving play over on the third baseline and pick up the ball and throw the guy out at first. No one understands who never played how hard that is.
Yeah.
No one gets it how fast. I mean, these guys are running a four flat, 4-1 down the first baseline, and those guys are throwing them out by 3 or 4 steps. The thing is, I've always loved how these guys make really hard things look really simple. And right now, I'm really disappointed in what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with, like, yeah, I mean, I guess you can be flawed if you're throwing 98, 99 miles an hour.
That's fine.
I guess
you're only going to last a couple years anyway before you have to go under the knife.
I guess you can be flawed. But right now, it's really disappointing me in terms of the sheer fundamentals and how guys are playing this game defensively, on the mound, and even at the plate. They're just not having quality at bats. I'm going to reference my son's Little League coach. You know, I'm going to go back to Ben Thomas. Ben Thomas, you always talk to these boys about having quality at bats. That's not being preached right now in the big leagues.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm seeing it firsthand with my Giants. I mean, no quality at bats, low IQ at approaches to the plate. So
very disappointing.
Yeah, I understand.
So I'm worn out by that, and I want it to see better because it's really starting to affect my feelings when I'm watching the game.
Yeah. Turning to the marquee matchup this weekend, we will focus first on a divisional matchup in the AL East. Aric's New York Yankees travel to Baltimore, Charm City, and is that Charm City? I think that is. I can't remember.
I have no idea.
I can't remember. Anyway, they travel to the Oriole Park in Camden Yards and face the Orioles Friday. The Orioles have yet to announce their rotation for any of these 3 games. Friday will be Will Warren for the Yankees. He's 3-0 with a 2.59 ERA. Saturday is Ryan Weathers, 1-2 with a 3.21 ERA. And Sunday is the ace, Max Fried, 4-1 with a 2.09 ERA. The Yankees in the back half of April are 10-3. And they allowed more than 4 runs scored against them only twice in that stretch. Their offensive stats are pretty otherworldly. They're tops in home runs, 4th in stolen bases, very surprising to me, 2nd in walks. Their batting average is only 25th, but their OPS is 5th. All this without production from the leadoff spot. Their leadoff spot, usually Trent Grisham, is hitting 152 with a 314 on-base percentage, a 304 slugging percentage, and a 618 OPS. That's well below the league average of 715.
At some point, they're going to drop him.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Yeah, they're going to have to. They can't afford for that to be an automatic out.
Right. The Orioles, with their combination of Samuel Basallo and Adley Rutschman switching between catcher and DH, they are getting it done with a 296, 367, 543, and 910 slash line with 8 home runs hit and 22 RBIs. Pete Alonso is still struggling, 3 for 21 over his last 5 games, but Jeremiah Jackson, who hit a grand slam yesterday in the opener against the Houston Astros, he is been a nice surprise in replacement for Jackson Holiday. We talked about him last week. 272 average with 5 home runs and now 23 RBIs. He leads the team in runs batted in. Aric, what are you looking for? I know what you're looking for. I know what you want.
Yeah, I like the Yankees to take 2 out of 3 here. I think the Yankees are the better team.
Yeah.
Really, what
the Orioles still have a problem in their pitching staff.
Yeah, they do. And so, but what I will say is I could see Baltimore giving the Yankees a little bit of a problem here, and here's why. What I really like about the Yankees pitching staff right now is they're pounding the strike zone.
Oh God, yeah.
Right, which I love. Yeah. I mean, I love that. But I will say the lineup in Baltimore is pretty good.
Oh yeah,
and so
they're pretty balanced.
So I will say teams like this, we've seen it, right? Mm-hmm. The Yankees went through a little slump after that initial onslaught of 10 wins.
Yeah,
right. They lost, I think, 6 out of 8, or something like that, and it's because they do pound the strike zone. And sometimes when you're pounding the strike zone, good teams will kind of tee off on you.
Yeah.
It could be a recipe for that to happen here. I hope not. I'm hopeful that the Yankees will take 2 out of 3 because I think their offense will carry them in this series because Baltimore still has problems on their pitching staff, as you alluded to. And so I like the Yankees to take 2 out of 3 here, but I do think these might be some higher scoring affairs.
Yeah, 2 key players for the Orioles who really need to get it going, and for the Yankees, they need to keep them down, are Pete Alonso as well as shortstop Gunnar Henderson. He's off to another slow start this season. Turning to another matchup in the American League, Eric's second favorite team, believe it or not, is going to be the Boston Red Sox. They are going to host the Houston Astros this weekend. The Astros are going to go with Mike Burrows on Friday. He's 1-3 with a 6.25 ERA. The Red Sox have yet to announce Friday's starter. Saturday is Spencer Arrighetti, their ace. By default, he's 3-0 with a 2.0 ERA against Connolly Early, 2-1 with a 2.84 ERA. And Sunday, the Astros have yet to announce their starting pitcher. He's going to go up against Ranger. Please call me Ranger Suarez, 2-2 with a 3.09 ERA. The Astros rotation is worst in Major League Baseball statistically, but they are beat up. 3/5 of the rotation is on the IL, and we talked about their problems with getting somebody out there. I guess that's why they haven't really announced a starter for Sunday. They just don't know who it is. Altuve, he's tied for 124th all-time hits in the hit category. He's second amongst active players.
We have something to talk about here, Mike.
Yeah.
Right. So look, I know that I talk a lot.
Wait,
about...
first of all, I got a quiz for you. Who's
Yes,
first?
Sir.
Who's first among the active players?
In hits?
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a good question. First among active players. It's got to be somebody.
Plays in the West Coast.
Is it Mookie Betts?
No. You're close, though.
Who is it?
He plays on the same team.
Freeman?
Yep. Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman.
Yeah. So but I'm going to tell you. Let's talk about Altuve. I know I talk a lot about on this podcast about how my disdain.
You hate his team, but you like him.
I do. My disdain for the Astros. Have a lot of respect for Altuve. I do think he had the situation that took place in 2017. We don't have to talk about that. But what I'm going to tell you is he's done more with less than any player in the league.
Sure.
Right? He's a little guy. Hits for great power. Has always hit for great power. The question is. He's signed a 5-year deal. He's in this is year 1 of that 5-year deal, right? Or year two.
He becomes a free agent at 2029, I believe.
Yeah. So the question is, does he get to 3,000 hits? I believe he will. I believe he will get to 3,000 hits, but it's going to take another couple years after this 5 years.
So we looked at this. He's going to have to average, assuming there's no strike.
125.
No, 155 hits.
155 hits.
Yeah. Assuming there's no work stoppage in 2027.
Yeah, and assuming, right, it's hard for these guys to stay productive when they get out there towards 40.
Oh, yeah.
He'll
be 39 in his free agent
it gets
year.
harder. It gets harder to stay on the field. And so the big thing here is we've seen players over the history of baseball that get to the twilight years of their career, right? Hall of Famers. Hall of Famers that get to the twilight years of their career and end up signing with another team and go and maybe win a World Series, maybe go and get 3,000 hits, whatever it might be. The question is, what do we think happens to Altuve here? Because he's going to become a liability.
Yeah,
right?
Well, he already is.
Yeah, he already is.
Since 2022, his defensive run save is -61. That is worst in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
In that time frame.
And to your point, they already have the DH position locked up. He can't DH.
Yep.
And so
and you're not going to put Yordan on the left field.
And so now you have a liability who's a superstar, who's a legend in Houston. And so if they care about winning, it's going to be a problem for him.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's going to start costing them ball games. So I know he's a legend. And look, you kind of saw this in New York. The only difference is it's hard to replace Jeter.
Well,
right?
he was still productive, too.
Agreed. But I'm just saying he got to a point, and look, I love Jeter, all right?
Yeah,
but he got to a point where, like, you probably could have had a better defender out there.
Well, even when A-Rod was brought in as a free agent in
I love that.
In 2003, everybody knew that he was a better defensive
I love
shortstop.
that. And so the question is, what is Houston going to do with Altuve? Number one, I think he gets 3,000 hits. I really do believe that. He's going to have to want to stick around.
He may get it with another team, though.
Yeah, but does he? What's your call?
Oh, God, they'll burn down Dakin Field if they trade him.
The Astros don't care. They're the worst
Well,
fan
you know
base
what?
in
Jim
baseball.
Crane is not Drayton McClain. Okay, Drayton McClain had a soft spot for his older players, and so that's why he signed guys like Biggio and Bagwell to deals well beyond their productivity.
100%.
So, and I don't think that Drayton McClain is the same. Or Jim Crane, excuse me. Jim Crane is not the same. He doesn't have that same sentimentality. I mean, they let Bregman walk. They let Correa walk. Why wouldn't they let Altuve walk? So I could see him DHing for, let's say, Detroit or Minnesota or heaven forbid, even your Yankees.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, he could go play for a contender and be a quality DH in a bandbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, so my thing is, I think he plays for another team in the twilight years of his career. I think he moves on from Houston. I think Houston has the type of fan base that's fine with that. And so that's kind of what I think. And like I said, great player, Hall of Famer.
So instead of burning it down, they'll just leave flowers out in front of out in front of the Crawford boxes entrance.
Yeah, some garbage like that, And so, but no. So I going back to this weekend's matchup. I do think this is kind of just what the doctor ordered
for the Red Sox.
For the Red Sox.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit concerned on why they haven't named a starter yet. I don't
for Friday's game.
Friday's game today. That's today.
Yeah,
I don't really understand what they got going on. That tells me what's going on, right? So my thing is, you got the Houston Astros coming to Fenway. You have Houston has a very good lineup. Right, they're in top 5 in most offensive categories, and so you better get the pitcher right because the pitcher's going to have to perform. Because the offense for Boston's going to put up some runs against these Houston
in answer to your
pitchers.
question, I just looked right now on Major League MLB website, and they still don't.
There's nothing out there.
No, it's TBD.
And I want to be clear: the game starts in the game starts in 5 hours.
Well, better watch it. Maybe your phone's going to ring here pretty soon. Look, we got one more matchup to look at, but the Red Sox, the Astros couldn't come in at a better time. Crochet being on the IL. Look, the Red Sox started with like 8 starting pitchers coming out of spring training, or at least going into spring training. He now joins Sonny Gray, Juan.
They're down to 4 or 5 now?
Yeah, 4 or 5 or maybe 3.
Yeah.
Cutter Crawford's out. Patrick Sandoval's out. Tanner Houck is out. No idea when these guys are going to return. So all of a sudden they are very thin at the rotation. Finally, a great division matchup. Well, it was until the Pittsburgh Pirates just got swept by the St. Louis Cardinals. They are now 500 and in the bottom of the division, but they're still 500. They host the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds are the class of the NL Central and maybe the class of the National League to begin with, aside from Atlanta. They will start Brady Singer. He is 2-1 with a 4.97 ERA. The Pirates will counter with Mitch Keller. He's 2-1 with a 3.18 ERA. Saturday is Rhett Lauder, 3-1 with a 3.18 ERA against Carmen Moldzinski, 1-2 with a 4.13 ERA. Sunday is Chase Burns for the Reds. He's 3-1 with a 2.65 ERA against Braxton Ashcraft. He's 1-2 with a 3.71 ERA. The Reds are 7-0 in one-run games, Eric, and 10-3 on the road. First baseman is Sal Stewart. Is an early season National League Rookie of the Year frontrunner. He's tops in hits, doubles, home runs, RBIs, stolen bases, walks, and top 5 in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS. The Pirates losers of 4 in a row thanks to that unlucky bullpen.
5 in a row.
5 in a row now. Sorry, excuse me. I mean, they just had a crusher in that first game against St. Louis. Their bullpen, it was an opener game, a bullpen game. Their first 3 guys threw 6 2/3 of perfect inning ball, took a 2-0 lead into the top of the 9th, and Dennis Santana came in and just threw up all over himself and gave up 4 runs in the 9th, and then they just could not recover. The unacceptable to lose that many to get swept at home by your division rival.
This is what is more concerning. You lost 5 games in a row in your division.
Yeah,
you lost 5 games in a row. You can't do that. It is the recipe to be in last place in your division.
And Brian Reynolds was getting very visibly frustrated, and I think he's frustrated with his own lack of production defensively. That guy's got one of the weakest arms I've ever seen. Good God! I mean, he had some opportunities to throw a guy at the plate. It barely reached the mound.
Oh, that is bad. Awesome. No, but I'm going to tell you, they better get on the horse here. They got another division rival coming up here.
Right. Well, they got to get Marcell Ozuna on the horse. He's one of their free agent acquisitions. He hasn't been doing well. He's hitting under a $165.
Franchises like the Pirates can go away. They can, like what I'm saying is like they're hanging in there early on in the season. They can easily find themselves double digits out of first place and fold up tent and go home.
Yeah. How do you see this otherwise?
So I like the Pirates to get back on the horse here.
Oh, really? Okay.
I do. They
got to get some people in the stands too, man. I mean, there's some 10,000 people going to those games.
But the truth is, what's talking here? Is it my knowledge of baseball talking, or is it my hope talking here?
Yeah. What's your head say, not the heart?
Yeah. So I would probably tell you my head says the Reds.
That's better.
But I am disappointed in that, right? Because this is one of those deals. Right now, you have the Reds leading the division, right?
By a lot.
And I'm going to tell you, I like both these teams to be good. And so when I go watch the TV, whoever wins, that's good for me because I like both these teams. I like this division specifically. It's old school division. In my opinion, one of the kind of more nostalgic divisions in baseball for me.
Yeah.
And so I like it a lot. I want to see Cincinnati win. I want to see Pittsburgh win. So it's a win-win for me. But I think Cincinnati is probably in a better spot to win this series, but I'm hoping Pittsburgh takes 2 out of 3 because I need them to get back on the horse.
Yeah, I wasn't giving the Cubs enough credit. The Reds are not leading this division by a lot, only by a game.
A game,
Cubs,
yeah.
But the Cubs.
But hey, don't look now. The Reds are 20-11. That's a quality. I mean, I think that's one of the best records in the league.
Yeah.
If I'm not,
they start getting into these division matchups, so they can beat up these teams. They can go run and hide with this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Anything else, Eric?
That's it. Watch some baseball this weekend, folks. I'm telling you.
I'm not. I'm done.
No, I'm telling you. Just,
actually, no. You know what? I got better plans this weekend.
Yeah. You're hanging out with the wife in Fredericksburg.
Can I give a shout out to V-Rock?
Yeah. Do we have a wedding anniversary we're celebrating?
Yeah.
So how many years?
Tomorrow will be 28 years.
28 big ones. That is awesome.
Yeah. She's been putting up with my ass for 30 actually, and so shout out to my lovely wife V-Rock. She is the best person that I know. And
shout out to the product from you two as well. Your son, he's kicking some. He's handling some business.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's off the payroll. Been off the payroll ever since he graduated in 4 years from that lovely institution that is Arizona State University. We're very, very proud of him.
Well, I've met Mike's son a few times, and he is smarter than Mike and I combined.
That's for sure.
That's what you want.
Any kid who likes physics, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
The word physics scares me, but shout out to my lovely wife. I could not have been happier when you said I do, and I thank God for him bringing you into my life every single day.
Well, congratulations to the Babos.
Thank you. We want to thank you all for listening in. We also want to thank you for your feedback. We want to make this show better because we do it for you. You can catch us every week on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on X at TheBitterMike or on Instagram, BitterMike1963. Time is precious, so we appreciate you spending some of yours with us. Mike and Eric talking the great game of baseball. Have a great weekend, everyone. See ya.
See ya.
The world still is the same. You never change it. As sure as the stars shine above. Well, you're nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to